How quickly do you want to make more money in sales? In this video, I'm going to break down the one thing that is going to determine the speed at which you start making more commissions. By figuring out this one thing and staying aligned to this one thing. In my sales journey, I was able to go from $0, no background in sales, no previous sales experience, to 17 months later, being able to earn over $100,000 per month in commissions. So what is that one thing? That one thing that determines how quickly you are going to make more money in sales is whether you're in the slow lane, whether you're in the medium lane, or whether you are in the fast lane. If you're driving on a motorway or a highway, as I believe it's called in the US, which lane you're in is going to determine how quickly you get to a destination. More than that, there are certain lanes where if you go on that lane, you will have a turning that allows you to reach one destination. But if you're in a different lane, that turning doesn't exist. In other words, not only are you going to get to your destination much quicker, depending on if you're in the fast lane, the medium lane, or the slow lane, but also you may never get to the destination that you want to arrive at if you're simply in the wrong lane. So in sales, what is the slow lane? What is the medium lane? And what is the fast lane? Well, the lane that you're in other words, the road that you're running on and how quickly you're allowed to go down that road is based on the path that you're following, the guide that you're following. In other words, the mentor that you do have, that you don't have, or within a spectrum of different mentors, what caliber of mentor have you chosen to align yourself with? And so when we're talking about the fast lane, the slow lane, the medium lane, the question is the desire that you say you have to make more money in sales as quickly as possible actually aligned with the lane that you're driving in? If you say, yes, Josh, I want to make money as quickly as possible in sales. I want to make as much money as humanly possible in the shortest period of time, but I don't have a mentor. Or I've gone for having a mentor, but I haven't gone for the fast lane mentor. I've actually gone for the medium lane mentor. Okay? So as you're listening to this video, when you answered that opening question that I gave you, how quickly do you want to make more money in sales? Did you say, well, obviously, as quickly as possible? Probably you did, and there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, that's a good thing. You should be thinking, life's short. I want to make the most of it. I want to live the life of my dreams. So, of course, I want to accomplish my goals as quickly as I humanly can. But when you said to yourself, of course, Josh, I want to make money as quickly as possible, then we have to look at which lane are you driving in your sales career. Are you in the slow lane? Are you in the medium lane? Or are you in the fast lane? And as we break down those differences, the slow lane is simply you don't have a mentor. Now, you may be watching this and that may possibly be you. I'm not really going to go into that into much detail because the difference between no mentor and having a mentor is so obvious that you probably already know you're an idiot if you don't have a mentor. If you don't, well, then you're really screwed up because nobody who's ever accomplished a massive goal did it on their own. Nobody. Nobody didn't have someone that was guiding them. Elon Musk had a guy called Larry Ellison. Steve Jobs had a mentor. Michael Jordan had mentors. Everybody that has ever become a great, a legend, a superstar has always had a mentor. So the difference between you not having a mentor and having a mentor is so obvious that if you don't currently have a mentor, then I hope that you know you're just in the slowest lane possible. And to say it again, when I say slow lane, I don't mean, hey, you'll accomplish your goals, but it might take you a decade instead of a year. Realistically, if you don't have a mentor, the lane that you're in is so damn fucking slow that you'll never accomplish your goals. If your goal is to hit $40,000 a month in commissions, or 60,000, or 80 or 100,000, over $100,000 per month like I did, the likelihood that you are the first person to ever be in high ticket sales that accomplishes that goal without a mentor is as close to zero as we can just call it zero. It's just not going to fucking happen because you're not smarter than Elon Musk. You're not smarter than Steve Jobs. You're not a harder worker than Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant. And they all had mentors. So the likelihood that you hit this goal in the slow lane without a mentor is just zero. Now, the question is, have you been honest with yourself about that? Have you actually looked in the mirror and said, I say I want to make more money. I say I want to make as much money as quickly as possible in sales, but I don't have a mentor. Have you looked yourself in the mirror and admitted that you're just frankly lying to yourself? If the answer is no, that is the one action item that you need to take from this video if you don't have a mentor, is be honest with yourself that when you say, of course I want to make money, more money in sales as quickly as possible, that's just bullshit. It's just a lie. Otherwise, you would actually align yourself with the path, the lane that is going to make that possible, which is not the fucking slow lane, which is not having a mentor. Now, the real thing that we're going to talk about in this training is the difference between the medium lane and the fast lane. Now, when I say slow, medium, and fast, I'm not saying this is slow, this is 10 miles an hour, this is medium, this is 50, and this is fast, this is 100. They're not equally weighted. The slow lane, you're just never going to hit your fucking goal. Let's be real. The medium lane is better. But in a hierarchy compared to the fast lane, it's not a fraction of the fast lane. It's exponentially slower. Exponentially slower. If you're in the medium lane, you might hit your goals in 5 to 10 years as a salesperson. Let's say your goal is to hit $100,000 a month in commission, which is the goal of all of the closers inside the Unicorn Closer Mastermind that I run alongside my mentor, the guy that taught me everything that I know about sales and that I know about life, that I still have as my mentor, because one of the key things that you need to understand from this training is you want to be in the fast lane if you want to accomplish your goals as quickly as possible, and you want to stay in the fast lane. You don't go in the fast lane, do that for a couple miles, and then swap back over to the medium lane. You may as well just stay in the medium lane. You go in the fast lane, and you stay in the fast lane forever. If you actually say, I want to hit my goals of making as much money as possible, making more money in sales than I'm currently making as quickly as possible, then you get in that fast lane and you stay in that fast lane. Okay, so going back to $100,000 a month. If you're in the medium lane, which is you've got a mentor, but it's not the best mentor that you could possibly get, the likelihood that you hit your goals may, and I'm being lenient here, may happen in 5 to 10 years. You may get to $100,000 in 5 to 10 years. Key thing to figure out how likely you are to hit that goal in a certain time period. How long did it take your mentor to hit it? If you have a sales mentor that made $1 million in commissions a year, but it took them a decade to get there, how are they going to teach you to do it quicker than they were able to do it? Pretty much impossible. If it took them a decade, they don't know the path to compress it into 17 months because they've never done it. So it's like saying, I'm going to get trained by a bronze medalist to teach me to win the gold. Well, there's a big fucking difference between bronze and gold. A big difference. And if we're talking about time, the training that you need to run the time, if we're talking about 100-meter sprint, Usain Bolt, the training that you need to get gold and do it in a fraction of a second quicker than bronze is a completely different level of intensity, of all of the training that you need to do, blending together at the right time, at the right place, in the right holistic mechanism to running the race a fraction of a second slower and getting bronze. There is such a monumental difference between the fraction of a second getting bronze and being able to get gold in terms of the training that you need to go through. And if someone only knows how to get bronze, they don't know how to hit the gold. Does that make sense? Okay, good. So, let me pull back up my notes. And so you've got the medium lane is not only very unlikely that you'll hit your goal even in 5 to 10 years, because the difference between the medium lane and the fast lane as far as what that actually entails in terms of training, the standards, the community, the methodology that you need, if we're talking about the sprinting again, the training, the methodology, the standards, the community support you have around you to get that fraction of a second quicker is so different. It's not a spectrum of, oh, it's just a bit more strenuous than the bronze. No, things have to be at a completely different level. It's like the old saying, what got you to here won't get you to here. It's not, well, this got me to here, so I'll just do more of it, or I'll just do better. It doesn't work like that. It's a different ball game altogether, okay? So, likelihood you hit that goal could happen in 5 to 10 years. Very, 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 very slim chance. More realistic is if you're in the medium lane, you'll get to $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month in commission potentially after a few years, but you won't be able to get more. And so when I asked you at the start of this video, how quickly do you want to make more money in sales? How quickly do you want to make more money in sales? And how much do you want to make? Do you want to be in a lane that almost guarantees you'll never make more than $20,000 to $40,000 a month in commission? Do you want to put all that time and effort in to spend 5 years to get to $40,000 a month in commission? Or let's be nice, 2.5 years, 2.5 to 3 years. Do you want to spend 3 years in a lane that will get you to $40,000 a month in commission? Or would you rather be in the fast lane that does two differences? Number one, you hit that $40,000, same amount, way quicker. You might hit it in 6 months. But number two, you then go beyond that. You don't stop at $40,000 because you're in the medium speed lane. You go all the way to $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 a month in commission. And I'll tell you now, the difference between $40,000 a month in commission and $100,000, as far as the way you live your life, is monu-fucking-mental. It's not comparable. $40,000 a month, you spend $10,000 a month on a nice villa that you want to rent. You spend a few $1,000s a month on car payments. You give some money to your family. Hopefully you're a noble person that wants to do nice things to other people and support the people around you. By the time you've spent all your expenses, you've got like $5,000 left a month, maybe 10, pushing it, probably 5. When you have 100,000, you can spend 50,000 a month on expenses, which is an insane lifestyle, by the way. You spend $40,000 a month on a villa compared to 10,000. You don't even know the difference. You want to go on a private jet? That shit's more than 50 grand for like a 2-hour flight. So 3-hour flight. You want to go international? That shit's 150 grand. You want to go from the US to Europe, you need to drop 150 G's on a private jet. You ain't doing that at $40,000 a month in commission. You ain't dropping, I won't tell you how much, but a lot of money on a watch. I'm about to get another one. You won't drop that amount of money. You might get a little cheap Rolex for like 10K, which is what everybody has. If you want the life of everybody else, you may as well not be watching my channel, because I run a sales mastermind that is for people that want to be different to everyone else. The outliers. The rebels, the ones that don't fit in to the normal crowd. If you're still watching and you think, you know what, that is me, I don't want to be normal, $40,000 is not a month in commissions, is not going to get you to the echelon where you're not normal. $100,000 will, even $75,000, $80,000 a month will get you there. So going back to the medium lane, you will get to $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month in commission potentially 3 years later. 2.5, 3 years later, because you're in the medium lane. all of that time and effort and all of that investment when you could have just invested a bit more, which we'll get to in a minute, to be in the fast lane, and you would have got to that goal within 6 months if you really put in the work. That's not a guarantee, by the way. Don't write that, oh, Josh said 6 months. No. If you put in the work with the right mentor and you consistently do that for a period of time, you can go from $10,000 a month in commission to $40,000 a month in commission in 6 months, or a lot fucking less. I hit $40,000 in commission within my first 6 months of sales. I think it was like month 4 or month 5. So that was having no background. You've already been in sales for a month, 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, maybe. Add another 6 months with the right mentorship, the right commitment to putting in massive action. Do that for 6 months. You could easily go from where you're at now to $40,000 a month in commissions. Do you want to do that in 6 months, being in the fast lane, and then keep going beyond that? Well, the only way you're going to be able to do that is going back to the intro of this video. When I ask you how quickly do you want to make more money in sales, is that aligned with the lane that you're in? The slow lane, the medium lane, or the fast lane? Okay? So I'm going to break down now in very, very simple terms. How do you pick which lane you're in? First and foremost, the slow lane is no mentor, no trainer, no coach. You're figuring everything out on your own or not. Trial and error, a lot more hard work, and most likely you'll just never figure it out because nobody in life figured out something exceptional on their own. As the saying goes, I can't remember who it was, I think it was Galileo or someone who says, if I can see further than other people, it's because I stood on the shoulders of giants. I stood on the shoulders of people before me. He was a humble person. If it was Galileo, I might be getting that wrong. But the quote still stands, which is, if you want to go further than other people, don't be an asshole and an idiot and very, very arrogant and ignorant, thinking you're going to go further than the people around you without standing on the shoulders of a giant. I am only on this video having made $100,000 a month in commissions, having trained Alex Hormozi's old gym launch sales team because of one thing. I was in the fast lane. I had a mentor. I have had that mentor for 5 years consistently, and I had the best mentor. I don't believe there is anybody out there to master sales holistically by becoming the best version of yourself and learning how to have a real, authentic conversation, no bullshit scripts, word track, tonality, any of that nonsense, than my mentor. That's why I'm still aligned with the same mentor. That's why I had to give him a massive amount of equity in the Unicorn Closer Mastermind to get him to train the students of the mastermind alongside me. Because I know he is the one that is going to get the members the best results alongside me. I'm not going to go further than other people having a better mentorship, a better mastermind, a better sales training on my own. I'm not that arrogant. And if you are, then more fool you, because you're not going to hit your goals, because nobody has without a mentor. And the thing now is going from the slow lane to the medium lane to the fast lane. What is the difference? The difference is, do you have the best mentor? Slow lane, no mentor, no trainer, no coach, trial and error, trying to figure it all out on your own, not going to happen. Medium lane, this is the key. The medium lane is when you have chosen your mentor looking for the budget option, looking for the most affordable option. I want a mentor, but I don't want to invest all my money. I want a mentor, but I'll just dip my toe into this sales training world and this mentor world. I did my training when I first got into sales. I haven't done any more training. I've realized now that was stupid. I've been in sales for 6, 12, 18 months and I haven't really progressed. Usually what a high ticket closer does, they do their first training. They go from $0 in commission, and within a few months, they go up to 5, 10, 12, maybe 15,000. They usually have this acceleration in the beginning. Why do you have that acceleration? Because you just invested in a mentor. Then what happens? You finished your course, your training, because it's a course. It's not real mentorship, because real mentorship doesn't finish. A mastermind, a community doesn't finish, because the moment you finish it, you're going back from the medium or the fast lane back to the slow lane. A course is like, oh, we'll just do fucking 4 weeks and you're done. Well, then you'll stop growing. They hit their 5, 10, 15 grand in commission, and then they stop training. They stop doing more mentorship or more sales training. They stop being in a community. And what happens is they stay at 15,000. They might go up a little bit to like 20 over the next 4, 5, 6 months. But really, the exponential growth that they saw in the beginning stops. And now their growth just flatlines. And the reason for that is they're not investing in mentorship anymore. Excuse me. And so what you have to realize is that when you then get back into mentorship, are you dipping your toe in for the cheapest, the most affordable, the most common? Oh, everybody else is doing this training, so I'll just do what everybody else is doing. Well, as the saying goes, if you want the same results as everyone else, do what everyone else is doing. If you want different results to everybody else, you have to do something different. Flipping that in reverse, Albert Einstein said, insanity, stupidity is to keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. Keep doing the same thing as every other salesperson, which is not training after their initial training or going in some mass market, generic, cookie cutter training, but wanting to be the outlier, wanting to be the outstanding person, wanting to be the exceptional closer that everybody looks up to, going, holy shit, you hit $100,000 a month in commission and you're actually living the life that I want to live. Well, if you want outstanding, you have to do outstanding actions, okay? So closers get back into their sales training and they end up in the medium speed lane, which I'll say again, doesn't mean you'll eventually hit your goals. The likelihood is you just won't hit big goals because the medium lane doesn't allow you to hit big goals. You're not going fast enough that you'll ever get enough momentum to hit those big goals, okay? And the reason they're in the medium lane is because when they chose a mentor, they chose based on following the crowd. In other words, they weren't willing to be an outlier. They were like, everyone else is doing this, and you know, this thing over here, like that's pretty different, but I feel uncomfortable doing something different. I'm just going to follow everybody else. If you make your decisions following the crowd, you'll just be another crowd, herd mentality, average, middle of the road, mediocre person. You have to make your decisions going, if everybody is zigging, I'm probably going to zag because I want the results of someone that is going in a different direction. The other part is when they make the decision, they look at the money they've got. They might be making 5K a month, 10K a month, and they go, I'll just go for like the low tier sales training or the medium tier. But I'm not going to go for the premium. I'm not going to go for the Bugatti of sales training because, it's uncomfortable to invest that amount of money. Well, yes, it's uncomfortable, but you should be more uncomfortable knowing that you're never going to make as much money as you say you truly want to be making as quickly as possible, if ever. You should be more uncomfortable going, that is a big investment, that is a significant investment, but I don't want to be in the medium lane and spend a year and a half to get to $40,000 a month in commission. I want to spend a year and a half, for example, like myself, 17 months, a little bit longer than that, a year and 3/4, a year and a half, just under actually, to get to $100,000 a month in commission. You absolutely could join the Unicorn Closer Mastermind and just copy everything I did if you actually do copy it and hit $100,000 a month in 17 months. Why? Because as I said halfway through this video, I've done it. I've done that in that period of time and I've reverse engineered everything I did, even to the point where I'm giving you the same fucking mentor that I had. You're going to get the same guy that taught me, teaching you the same things that he taught me. Plus you've got me. So you've got two mentors, the person that followed the path and the person that taught the person to follow the path, but you preferred to stay in the medium speed lane. And the only reason you're choosing to stay in the medium speed lane is groupthink, which is following the herd mentality and making the decision based on budget, as in being a budgeting person. Like, well, I want to do a budgeted option. the cheapest option, the most affordable option. Well, that decision determines that you're in the medium lane and not the fast lane. Now, to finish this video, I'm going to break down the 4 differences between the caliber of having the best mentor in the fast lane versus an average mentor in the medium lane. There are 4 differences, and I want you to think about these. Difference number 1 is who is mentoring you. Who? The person. When you look at someone that is an average sales mentor, and I don't mean they may have been in the industry for decades, but you just look at them as a person, you're like, they're just kind of a nerd. They're just kind of an average person. Like, I don't look at them and think, wow, that dude's a badass. That dude is living the life that I want to fucking live. I want to speak like them. I want to carry myself like them. So the difference when you go from the medium lane to the fast lane as far as getting the best mentor is you'll get a difference in who is actually mentoring you. Just simply the character of the person. Now, why is that such a big deal? Because the amount of information you download and integrate and execute is not just based on how good the information is. The medium is the message, which means it's also based on, do you actually aspire and feel inspired by that person? Do you look at that person on their content and go, holy shit, I want to be like them? Or do you look at them and they're like, yeah, I'm going to take like the sales training, but I don't really want to be like them. Well, no matter how good or not good the sales training advice is, you will not absorb a lot of it if you don't actually aspire to be the person or be more like the person that is mentoring you. So going from the medium lane to the fast lane, you multiply the amount of absorption, of extraction of knowledge and training that you get because you now align yourself with someone that's more of a badass. If you met my mentor, which the Unicorn Closer Mastermind students do in person 3 times a year when we have our live events, which are they're earned, they're not given. You don't just join the mastermind. You can come to an event. You have to have actually gone through a certain amount of training to get access to them, and then they're free. You would meet that guy, and you'd be like, fuck me, I've never met someone that has this aura. You just feel it. You're like, this person is so complete as a human being. I want what they have. I want to be who they are. You can't put a price on that. And because I felt that when I started getting mentored by this guy, I did everything he fucking said to a T. I executed like a madman. And that is why I hit $100,000 a month in commission. If my mentor had been someone different that may be okay at sales, may have had some good sales results after a decade of being in the industry, but I'm looking at them and thinking, I just don't like you. I just don't want to be you. Like, actually, if I was you, I'd actually be like, yeah, shit, I've gone backwards as a person. Like, I've become like a nerd. Then I wouldn't have absorbed 90% of what that person would have told me. You got to be aware of this. This is a big difference going from the medium lane to the fast lane, okay? To assist you in, I'm reading from my notes here to make sure I've got everything I wanted to share with you. To assist you in deciding who you want to mentor you, I'm going to give you 3 different metrics. Number 1 is, what did they achieve? Look at the number. How much money did they make? I made over $100,000 per month in commissions as a full-time high-ticket closer. To give you all the details, selling an offer that was between $9,000 and $15,000. So I wasn't selling a $50K B2B offer, it was B2C, and that was it. I sold a dating offer and a crypto offer when I was closing full-time and making over $100,000 per month in commission. Not at the same time, by the way. I didn't have 2 offers. First dating, then crypto. Look at what that person achieved. Compare that to other sales mentors, sales trainers. That's going to determine whether you're choosing to be in the medium lane or the fast lane. Second thing, and this is where most closers fuck up, how long did it take them to achieve it? I would rather get to $100,000 a month in commissions in 17 months than get to $200,000 in commission in 10 years. Like, think that through. What is your most precious asset in life? The one that can't be replaced. Time. Not money. You can print money. You can make an infinite amount of money. The most precious asset is time. think I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. The most precious asset you have is your time. That's the one that you can't get back. And so when you are deciding between mentors, medium lane, slow lane is no fucking mentor, and the fast lane, which is the best mentor, 3 things determine if they're the best mentor. Number 1 is, what did they accomplish? Number 2, how quickly did they accomplish it? Don't fuck this up, guys and gals. If you align yourself with a mentor that accomplished something great, but it took them 20 years, you are going to take 20 years to accomplish the same thing or thereabouts, because they don't know the path to shave off the time, because they've never done it. They've never run that fast before. So how can they teach you to run faster than they know how to train to run that fast? Okay. Third thing, who did they become in the process? Take, for example, Jordan Belfort. I think he's got some great sales training, and I think he's a cool dude in many ways. A lot of people would argue with that and say, oh, no, he's a scam artist. That's the point. He made a lot of money, and he did it in a relatively short period of time. Who did he become in the process? A criminal, unfortunately. One thing is a criminal. Another thing is you can learn a skill that can accomplish a tangible result for you, like closing deals. But the way that you learned to accomplish it made you either a bad person or just simply not the person that you want to become. I know sales trainers that close in ways that I'm like, I just wouldn't want to close like you. Like, you're just a geek. You're just a nerd. You're just a loser. And I've met most of these sales trainers in person. And so when you're deciding your sales trainer, for example, I was in the gym yesterday and a guy came up to me. It was quite funny, actually. He said, has anyone ever told you you look like Josh Lyons? I was like, well, no one's ever told me I look like him, but people have told me I am him. And he was like, oh shit, you are. And I had a chat with him, and he messaged me on Instagram after and said, thanks so much for having a chat, blah, blah, blah. And I get quite a few people now come up to me. And I hope, and I believe, when they come up to me, they realize that, like, if I can say so myself, I'm a cool person. Like, I'm a down-to-earth, normal person. I'm not a weirdo. I'm not a nerd. Like, I like watches. I like Lamborghinis. I like nice, expensive Mont Blanc pens. Like, I like things that you should like as a cool person. Now, probably that sounded all very materialistic, but I also like giving money to charity. I like giving money to my parents. I like taking care of my sister when she wanted to go on holiday. I gave her $10,000 to go backpacking. Like, I just would say I'm a normal person that just had a mentor in the fast lane and was able to accomplish all of these things. So when you're deciding between the medium lane and the fast lane, you've got to think about these 3 things. What did the person accomplish? How long did it take them to accomplish it? And who did they become in the process? Don't fuck up your life as a closer, choosing to align yourself with a mentor that when you actually look at them, talking, interacting in a social circle, God, if you ever saw some of these sales mentors interacting in a social circle, you'd be like, fuck, are they like literally socially retarded? And that's the point. If you learn a methodology that made someone into a certain type of person, you will become that person. And so that's why I'm so strongly advocating learning to sell in a way that's authentic, that's just having a real conversation. It's not memorizing your fucking word tracks and your sales script and your tonality and all of that, because that's just not a cool person. If you meet, hopefully one day you will, if you join the mastermind, my mentor, you will literally be like, this is the coolest person I've ever met in my fucking life. That's who you want to align yourself with. What now? Don't align yourself with someone cool that didn't make the money you want to make. And also don't align yourself with someone cool that made the money you want to make in 20 years or a decade. But what if you can align yourself with someone that's accomplished all 3 of these things in alignment? I made the goal that people want to learn from me how to make. I've accomplished it and beyond. I did it in a short period of time, or a time period that for a person that was able to accomplish it in the same time period would be like, holy smokes, I shaved years or decades off of my learning curve. And in the process, I became a better person. I became more cool. I became more peaceful. I became more loving. I became more caring. I became just a better more real, more authentic, more holistically developed person. Those are the three things. So when you go from the medium lane to the fast lane, that is the first difference, is the human mentor that you're going to align yourself with. The medium lane, they either didn't accomplish the amount of money you want to accomplish, they did it in a slower period of time than you want to do it, or they became someone during that process that you just don't want to become. That's the difference number one. Difference number two is the methodology. When you go from the medium lane to the fast lane, as I said before, what got you from here to here won't get you from here to here. Now, there are certain sales mentors, I'm not going to name any names, that have accomplished a very cool amount of income. But the methodology that they did that with was things that you probably don't know and or you don't want to do. I'll give you two examples. There is one person that accomplished a great amount of money, and they have some very good sales knowledge. But the way that they did that is not the way that they've told you publicly. The way that they made a massive amount of commissions is selling group sales. In other words, there was a Zoom call with 20 people on the Zoom that were all being sold at the same time on one call. Imagine how much extra money you would make as a commission closer if instead of doing one-to-one sales, you did one-to-group sales. But they don't tell you that publicly. So the methodology to go from here to here might not get you from here to here unless it's someone that has gone from here all the way to here in the same methodology that they're trying to teach you. Hopefully that makes sense. I'll give you another person. Again, I'm not going to name names. They made a very good amount of commissions, and this person I actually think is a lot better at sales than the first one, and I like them, and they are a cool person. They did it by working fucking night shifts. In other words, they had one sales job in the day. I think they must have slept at some point, and they had another sales job during the nights because they're working two different time zones. That's amazing. That's a massive amount of grifting. They probably did it for their family. They probably did it because they're so fucking driven and committed, and I admire that. I respect that. But I don't want to learn how to make $100,000 a month in commission by working night shifts and two different time zones. And if you align yourself with someone that accomplished that goal in that way, that's the only way they're going to teach you to do it. So hopefully this makes sense. When you're looking at the methodology, you've got to know all the facts. You've got to know the big picture, okay? The difference between the medium lane and the fast lane, who is mentoring you, the methodology that they're going to teach you, it better be the methodology that you think you're learning, that you want to be learning. Number three is a big difference, a parabolic difference between the medium lane and the fast lane is the training holistic? In the medium lane, to hit $20,000 a month and to do it in 2.5 years, that's unrealistic, to hit $40,000 in 2 years with average training, budget training, most cost affordable training, you will learn things that are not holistically integrated. In other words, you might learn to get better at sales, but you're not learning to take care of your health. You might learn to get better at sales whilst not learning personal development. And then what ends up happening is you end up like the Leaning Tower of Pisa, where you've gone up, but as you've gone up, you've tilted and tilted and tilted, and now you're vulnerable. You're weak. You're not built on solid foundations, because solid foundations are holistic. Everything needs to integrate together. Faith, family, fitness, finances. Faith, family, fitness, finances. Every area of your life needs to integrate together. When you go from medium speed training, which is the middle lane, to the fast lane, one of the things that makes it the fast lane is everything is integrated. And because everything is integrated, as you're going through, in my case, my first 17 months, I didn't hit roadblocks because my sales training was out of alignment with my personal development training. I didn't hit those roadblocks because they were happening simultaneously. What most salespeople get stuck on is they'll do their sales training and then they'll hit a personal development roadblock. They're not organized. They don't have the energy. They don't have the right beliefs. They don't have emotional control, etc. don't know how to set goals that actually drive them and motivate them. So they're getting better at sales, then they hit a personal development roadblock. They get better at sales, they hit another personal development roadblock. And every time you hit these personal development roadblocks, what happens? You waste time. It takes you 3-4 months to get past a fucking rut that was nothing to do with a sales rut. It was a personal development rut. Or every time you hit these ruts, which is because the training is not holistic, you then lose your momentum, and therefore you can't go past $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month in commissions at all, ever, even 2 years later, because you haven't built up enough momentum to skyrocket all the way to $50,000, $60,000, $80,000, $100,000 a month in commission. So third difference, whether you're in the medium lane with a mentor, but not the fast lane, is the training in the medium lane is not holistic. Things don't integrate together. You're developing in one area and you're sabotaging yourself in another area. And ultimately, you won't hit your financial goal and it will take you so much more time anyway. The fourth and final difference is there's not the right community aspect. And this is something that's very rarely talked about in sales. But the people that you're around, you're going to be lifted up by, or the lack of people that you're around is actually going to hold you back. If you're around other people that are all pushing to be the best, it's the old saying, a rising tide raises all boats. You are naturally just going to get lifted up because of that. If you don't have that community, because you're in the medium lane and you're just in a training, you turn up to a group call maybe, and you're in group training maybe, but there isn't real community where there is real events and real friendships. Like the members inside the mastermind now, they've forged true lasting friendships. When they come to the live events, they're all going surfing together. They're all staying in the same, they're like hiring a big villa and they're all staying together and they're truly building their new network. Network equals your net worth. These are people that previously their only people around them was their parents that probably hadn't accomplished what they want to accomplish, or their old friends and their old social circle from their old lifestyle. They don't want to be in that lifestyle anymore. You don't want to cut out those people, family and friends, and have nothing to replace it with. Then you'll just feel alone and you'll feel uncomfortable and you'll feel anxious. You want to remove those old past histories and replace it with people that are going places, people that are going where you want to go, that will call you the fuck out when you're not committed, when you're lying to yourself, when you're not taking the actions that you say you need to take. They'll call you out because they care about you, because they're all truly part of a journey of excellence. So the fourth difference, whether you're in the medium lane or the fast lane, is there true network being created, true community. So I'm going to summarize that all for you. The slow lane, no mentor, no trainer, no coach, trying to figure everything out on your own, trial and error, a lot of wasted time, and a massive amount of money that you're going to lose because you'll never fucking earn that money if you are in the slow lane. Medium lane, you've got training, you've got coaching, you've got mentorship, but there are 4 differences between those things you have compared to the fast lane. And the reason those 4 differences exist where they currently exist is because when you chose that trainer, coach, or mentor, you chose the common follow the crowd mentality, and you also chose what is the most affordable. Instead of spending $3,000 a month, you wanted to spend $1,500. Well, you thought you're saving $1,500 a month, but you're actually losing the difference between you getting to $20,000 a month and $100,000. That's $80,000 per month difference because you wanted to save $1,500. You wanted to be in the medium lane because it felt comfortable both financially and psychologically. The 4 differences between the medium lane and the fast lane. Who is training you? Do you like them? Do you want to be like them? What did they accomplish? How quickly did they accomplish it? And who did they become in the process of accomplishing it? Number 2, the methodology. Is the methodology you're learning in the medium lane actually ever going to get you to $100,000 a month working normal hours on one-to-one high-ticket sales calls, not on a B2B offer, but on an offer that's B2C, $9,000 to $15,000? Is it going to? Well, if the person didn't accomplish that way, then no. It's like saying, I want to learn how to run the 100-meter race and get the gold medal. Well, you could learn that from Usain Bolt. Or what if you were a moron and you went and learned that from a race car driver. How the fuck is a race car driver that goes places very quickly in a car going to teach you how to go places very quickly on your legs? It's a completely different fucking vehicle. B2B selling, B2C. I'm not saying, by the way, that the way you sell in B2B or B2C is that different. I'm just simply saying, if per hour you close a 50K package, that's a very different way to make 100 grand a month compared to closing a 15K package. The variables just are completely different. Third difference, medium lane to fast lane, is the training holistic? Is everything integrated? Do you have everything you need, or are things missing that are going to bite you in the ass later down the road? And the fourth and final difference is the community aspect, the network. The highest level mentorship and mastermind is also about building a new network. The people that I know now because of my mentor, the people that our students have been introduced to inside the mastermind because of our network is insane. You don't get that real change in your social circle in the medium lane. So we will end with, how quickly do you want to make more money in sales? If you truly want to make more money in sales very quickly, are you in the fast lane? If you're not in the fast lane, what are you doing? Are you just lying to yourself? Are you just going to keep excusing it, rationalizing it, bullshitting? I want to make money as quickly as possible. No, you don't. No, you don't. You're driving a car in the medium lane, or God forbid, the slow lane. If you truly want to make more money in sales as quickly as humanly possible, the only way is to get in the fast lane. If you're ready to do that and stop wasting time and wasting money and stop lying to yourself, and you're ready to look yourself in the mirror and be honest and say, you know what, I have been in the medium lane, and that's exactly why I'm making the money that I'm making, which is not the money I want to be making. If you're ready to fix that and solve it and change it and actually do what is going to hit that goal of making as much money as possible as quickly as possible, then join a mastermind. Join the best mastermind you can possibly get. We have guys inside the mastermind and gals. Daniel, he's a kid that is 16 years old that went to his dad and said, I need to join this mastermind. And he got his dad to do the investment for him. He's now inside the mastermind and he's fucking crushing it. Literally, he's doing better than some of our guys and gals that are in their 20s or 30s. Are you that committed? We have people that are in Africa that were making money in African currency, which is nowhere near as strong, and I don't mean that racially or disrespectfully, as the US or the West. And he saved up the money to get inside the mastermind because he wanted to be in the best mastermind. He's inside the mastermind and he's now crushing it. So money is not the excuse. The excuse is, how do you express your money? Do you hold it tightly and go, I'll just give a few little dollars here into the medium level sales training and be middle of the road and be in the medium speed lane? Or do you go, you know what? This is everything I've got. This is everything I've got. And I'm just going to invest everything I've got to be in the best. If you think there is a mastermind out there that is better than the Unicorn Closer Mastermind for sales, please go and join it now. Don't even fucking finish this video. Go to the link and join that mastermind now. Join the best sales mastermind that you can possibly join. If you think that is our mastermind, then join our mastermind. But stop making decisions to join the medium tier, middle of the road, training, mentorship, community, support. Because you will never hit your goals as quickly as you possibly can, if ever. So fix that now and take the action that you've been procrastinating and putting off from a place of scarcity and get yourself in the fucking fast lane and make a massive amount of money in sales quickly. And if that is with us, my mentor and I look forward to seeing you on the inside.